You know what time it is.
What time is it?
No, you know what? I'm just gonna do the intro.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's
The
that time
Shake
again.
Back Media Group proudly presents to you the Herb and Raj podcast starring Herb and Raj.
Oh, so if you ever
All
fill in
right.
for us on this show and we play this intro, whoever the two people are that fill in have to call themselves Herb and Raj. It's the only way this works.
Right.
So you know something's up when you don't see the Alabama gear when the people
Right.
when we like something is already wrong. Yeah,
It's that time of the year. Let's get into it.
Is that a Stacey James jersey?
Okay, now you're starting with the disrespect really, really early now. Come on.
Broderick James. James Harden. Is that a James Harden jersey?
Come on,
Okay.
Herb.
Is
Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can do?
Is that a challenge? Because we got a whole hour
Yes!
of this.
Yes.
Okay. We will bust out our phone and we will see how difficult we can make this whole hour.
No,
All
we're
right.
good. We're good.
The NBA ended yesterday, and it's one of those things where, yeah, it's the last day of the season, but first off, none of the East games even mattered. So there were people playing that you had never heard of for the whole year.
Yeah, the East was pretty much already set up. So yeah.
Yep. And then in the West, there was only a couple of games that mattered, and it mattered a little bit too much to certain people because see.
That was a good one.
Oh, I love it. Thank you there.
And let everybody know, yes, I am wearing the jersey backwards, just for the heck of it. I wanted this name to be prominent and to be front. So
well, no problem, Edrigan. We preach.
Okay.
And I guess the games yesterday mattered a little bit too much to some people because Rudy Gobert decided the best people to start.
Oh my gosh!
Try to knock out was in his own huddle.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we got another comment.
Well, do you want to jump into this one first before we jump into the season?
Let's talk about
Sid Royal. We thank you, Sid.
Thank you to the beautiful Sydney,
unknown listener.
Oh,
can we talk about the Mavs and what we think about them throwing the game to end the season? You want to jump in this now? First off, I guess we have to, huh?
Well, let's finish the root. You were talking about the Rudy Gobert, so let's talk about that, and then we'll jump into the Mavs situation.
But we have to answer any questions that come up, so we definitely we will have to answer all those questions. So Rudy Gobert decides to go, punch. He got himself sent home. They win the game after he left, so that doesn't show anything good for him.
Right.
And then he's suspended for the play-in game against the Lakers. But all right, Rudy, you already are one of the most hated people in basketball because of the whole COVID thing. Okay, that started it. Then you couldn't get along with Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz didn't do well. Then you were part of what may go down in history as one of the worst trades, if not the worst trade ever. I mean, I don't think it's going to beat the Dallas Cowboys trade for Herschel Walker, but it's a pretty bad trade.
Pretty bad.
Then your team does better when you're gone. And he has tweeted out his apology and he's texted all his teammates and apologized. But I mean, it's just a terrible look, Rod. This is a game that you guys need for your playoff lives, and here you are on the sideline swinging at people.
Terrible look. And as you mentioned earlier, we both know and we've heard from other people and sources that Rudy Gobert is hard to work with. Like you said, Donovan Mitchell left. I think even Quinn Snyder wanted out of Utah too. He's like, I can't work with him. And obviously we didn't play professional sports, but I understand that emotions get caught up in the game. Somebody wants you to do this. You don't want to be disrespected as a professional athlete, and you might want to express your feelings too, but you don't punch another teammate during the game on the sideline, especially when it's a game you need, and especially when there's a possibility you can get suspended, which obviously is what happened to Rudy. I feel like this is something they could have just talked it up in the locker room after, hey, my bad, blah, 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 blah. I didn't mean to say this. I really didn't mean it. It's all good. We'll shake hands and we'll keep it moving. With him out of the game, out of the playing game tomorrow, I want to say the line moved up maybe a point and a point and a half. Obviously, Rudy Gobert is not averaging 20, 25 points a game, but that does kind of open up the hole for the Lakers as far as just getting to the paint and pointing to the paint.
We were picking the Lakers anyway, though.
I think we were both picking the Lakers, me for obvious reasons, and her because he secretly likes LeBron, even though he won't admit it. He's wearing this Milwaukee Bucks t-shirt.
Look, you're out here wearing a Kevin James shirt. I didn't even know he played.
Oh, how about we do this? How about we see how many more James jokes we can get in before the show ends, before 8 o'clock? How many more? We already got Edwin James so far, and then you got Kevin James. So we'll see how many more we can get.
But you know what? It should come from the fans. So anybody else that's got some good James jokes out there, we invite you. This is the show for it. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. It does look bad for that. It does. First off, even disregarding how he's played or not played this year, you were part of a major trade.
Right.
And this team's postseason success is going to be how this trade is graded. And for you to not be available for it is a terrible look. Now, I understand it was a back and forth. Like, hey, why don't you grab some? Why don't you block some shots? Hey, why don't you grab some rebounds? Hey, shut up, you B word. Like, yeah, that is crossing the line. But swinging at him is a bad look, especially because that's what we see. And perception is everything. So, yeah, it's a bad look, Rudy. And this is probably another good point. They did win the game without him. T-Wolves are better without him. The organization is playing 4D chess now. They have a better chance to beat the Lakers now, which is sad because you really go back and what this is alluding to is they have a better chance to beat the Lakers if they never made this trade at all. First off, you guys have a couple of the T-Wolves players, so that's you weaken the Lakers in that regard. But their team was better off before they made this trade.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Not Rudy's first bonehead move. That's from our boy Mike. Nope, not at all. Rudy going like I said, going back to the
COVID year.
The COVID year. That's Rudy just does dumb stuff. So.
Yep.
Bad luck. So do you want to approach this question? Because we were going to talk about playoffs, but we're also going to talk about the teams that didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if you look at the group of teams that didn't even make the play-in,
right?
Pacers, Wiz, Magic, Hornets, Pistons, Mavs, Jazz, Portland, Houston, San Antonio. You'd have to say the Mavs were probably the team that
the most surprising.
The most surprising. It had the most potential going into it, right? Yeah. So, and here,
especially
just to put it back
when you're coming off a season when you make the Western Conference Finals,
exactly,
and then now you don't even make the playoffs. This is kind of strange how this all played out, and you can attribute it to a number of different factors. I know a lot of people want to go after Kyrie automatically and say it's his fault, and I think we alluded to this last week. I don't blame it all on. I'm not going to put the entire blame on Kyrie. It's a team game, team sport. So I do think that after the trade, they got a little weaker on the defensive end, which really didn't help.
But Kyrie played well down the stretch.
He played well,
yeah. Really weird. Yeah. And the games that he played without Luka, I think they had a winning record. So it was.
Yep.
It was weird. But let's pull the question back up so we can approach the exact situation. Them throwing the game to end the season. Yeah. So here's the exact situation. I believe they were back. 2 games back of the playoffs, right? 2 games.
Yes.
Even if they win the 2 games, the Thunder have to lose both games for them to get in the playoffs. Right. Also, I think at that point, losing a game gets them into the 10 spot. If they are in the 10 spot or lower, 10-1, they keep their draft pick this next year. Let's say they won both of those games and the Thunder won their games and the Mavs missed the playoffs, but winning those 2 games puts them in the 11 or 12 spot. They lose their draft pick to the Knicks. Given how they have played down to this point and the spot they had dropped into and eking into the playoffs, I am 100% for them dropping those games, keeping their draft, because the goal is to make your team better. The goal is to put yourself in a better position. Squeaking into the playoffs and possibly getting knocked out in the first round and losing your draft pick does not serve the Mavs any justice. They need that higher draft pick. And they need to re-sign Kyrie just because they've invested so much in it. And that was their best path to victory. So dropping that game at the end of the year, I have no problem with.
Yeah, but aren't the Mavs currently under investigation from the league as far as possible tanking and things of that nature?
So here's the deal. What are they going to investigate? Hey, did you guys try to win that game? And what they're going to go, sure, we did.
Yeah, but we lost.
If you're going to tell me, so I understand tanking, but tanking to me is like 20 games out, we're going for a better draft position.
See, that's
what
they
was going to say. Was, huh?
No, that's what I was going to say. I said if they were going to start tanking, they could have probably done that a lot earlier in the season, but they waited until pretty much the last second and just decided to sit everybody.
Right. So, I have no problem with it. I don't know what the league is going to say. We wanted you to try to win those 2 games so you can give up a draft. Because like I said, they could win those 2 games, miss the playoffs still, and lose a draft pick. That doesn't serve anybody in the future.
Right.
So, no, I think it's ridiculous to investigate them, and I am 100% behind what they did at that point. Yeah. You know, we're not talking about far out. They dropped 2 games at the end of the year. They were dropping games when they were trying.
Yeah, so, that's another thing I was gonna say. Even had their players played these last few games, they may still have lost them anyway because they didn't have enough firepower, especially towards the end of the season. So I guess going into the offseason for the Mavs, the big question is Kyrie. Is he going to stay? What decision is he going to make? Where would Kyrie want to go? I know he said he wants to stay in Dallas, whatever, but that's pretty much what everybody says until they make a decision. So
right, and who's going to want to pay him? You know,
and
one of the reasons why he wanted a trade was he wanted his new team to have his bird rights to where they can offer him more money.
Right.
He has all the leverage now. The Mavs have given up too much to lose Kyrie for nothing.
Right.
So they have to keep him.
They have to keep him. They have to pay him. And they got to see what else they can do. I don't know if anything in the offseason to kind of bolster up that defense. Because like you said, they gave up a lot to get Kyrie. So it's just, what do you do now? What are your options? What is your roster going to look like going into next season?
Right. And you got to kind of hope that number 10 pick, you get a little lucky in the lottery and maybe it moves up too as well. So, but that's going to be a key piece.
Of course, I mean, going into the draft, you do want a high-volume scorer. Pretty much any team would like that. But like I said, they need help on defense because whoever they draft is not going to be their number 1 option anyway. You might be number 3 at best. So you're going to have to get you a really, really strong overall player, to be honest with you. So I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that. And again, Luka made the comment and said he's happy here. Of course, you're supposed to say that as the leader of the team. Right. But we can all tell from that last 1 or 2 post conferences that he's a little miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unhappy.
Yeah, but you know what the weird thing? I read an article this morning, talking about it, and I think we're all trying to accelerate the trajectory. Did you realize that like Luka is on the same similar trajectory as LeBron James when he first entered the league and kind of carrying a subpar team maybe farther than what it could go? Or what it should go. And the problem is Luka's been so good so quickly that the team is not getting high draft picks to kind of bolster around him. So now you kind of have to go free agent. But I mean, what are we like? His 4th year in the league, and I think we're acting like he's been in Dallas for 10 years.
Yeah,
and hasn't really had any postseason success except for like 4 years in. So I think it's a little bit more, more patient, and maybe he'll get good. Maybe one day he'll be something like a Trinidad James kind of success story.
Trinidad James?
Hey, why not?
Oh my goodness, I did not see that comparison coming.
Well, you are wearing his jersey, so I felt like we had to throw him out there.
Oh wow! Nobody's commenting on that, so that's not funny. Sid says, thanks for the breakdown. And of course,
Cowboys.
She's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. So shout out to the beautiful Sid.
Right. Raj's favorite team.
Not my favorite team, my second favorite team.
All right. We ready to get into some playoffs with some teams that actually did make the playoffs?
Let's talk playoffs, but do you want to talk about the play-in tournament first?
Of course. So, but I do have a question. Lead off with that. Were you most excited for the NBA playoff show because you'll get more than 30 seconds to talk about the Lakers?
Yes, 1,000%. You can't hold up your little watch and your little phone and your little stop, whatever. We're not doing that today. We're going to talk, and the Lakers are going to be the bulk of well, let's just see how it goes. I don't want to say how long I'm going to talk about it. Let's just see how it goes.
Goodness. You know what? You get like 12 seconds to talk about the Lakers.
Oh, ha.
All right, so the 7-8 games start, and for those who aren't familiar with the Bo says he is, but I missed what the comment was.
With what?
So I'm old and I probably forgot it already.
Uh-oh.
What he's looking forward to, maybe.
Okay. We'll see.
Or is he? But so anyway, sorry. The play-in tournament, the 7 and 8 teams play. The winner of that game gets the 7 seed.
Right.
The 9 and 10 teams play.
Right.
The loser's eliminated.
Right.
The loser of the 7-8 game, which you presume might be the 8 seed, and the winner of the 9-10 game play, which you think would be the 9 seed.
Right.
Those two teams play, and the winner of that game gets the 8 seed. And then the tournament officially begins.
The tournament
was brought up during the bubble to try and mitigate the fact that so many teams had missed so many games, but and now they just kept it around. So
I like the idea of the playoff. I mean, the play-in. I'm sorry. I like the idea. It's not too many other games. I wouldn't like it if it was an entirely different series, like a 3-game play-in series. I don't want to see all that. And then you're putting a lot more on some of those players. So I'm okay with.
Plus, you're putting the 9th. You would be putting the 9th and 10th best teams in the conference in a 5 or 7-game series like that.
Exactly. No, we don't need to do all that.
All right. So in the East, Hawks versus Heat. Hawks at the Heat, and the lower seed always Heat. And then you've got the T-Wolves at the Lakers. So nobody really cares about the T-Wolves or Lakers, so we'll just spend 20 minutes talking about the Hawks at the Heat.
Okay. Whatever. Whatever.
No? Okay. No, I'll be honest, Ron. If it wasn't for LeBron James, you probably wouldn't care about like either one of these two games. You know, the Hawks have underachieved. They've got a coach fired. They have a lot of questions in the offseason to make up. The Heat, I'm not sure how they didn't catch the Nets for the 6th seed after the Nets jettisoned their whole team.
Well, let's see where the. I'm surprised that he kind of fell. I mean, they ended up 1 game back behind Brooklyn, so it's not too bad. But I'm surprised they fell to 7-2. I just expected a little more out. I a little more out of them. Oh wow. Okay.
How did you miss that one?
Oh my goodness.
Wearing a Rick James jersey.
Oh man, I'm catching a lot of heat.
This is what Kyle Anderson was wearing when he was talking to Rudy that made him punch him.
No, Rudy just said I thought that was funny. But
I'll give you a courtesy laugh.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. So who do you have in the East? Who do you have out as the 7th and 8th seed in the East?
The Heat.
Considering. Okay.
They have given, what was it last year? They gave little guy from the Hawks. They gave Trae Young. They give him fits. They know how to play defense and give him. The Hawks are just not a good team. I'm taking the Heat, especially at home in the 1 game. Give me Spoelstra. Yeah. I think they win that game.
No, I agree. I have the Heat. And in the 2nd game, Bulls versus Raptors. I think this game would have been more interesting had Lonzo Ball actually been healthy this year. It's unfortunate to see what he's going through this year, and that might linger on into next year. But I'm going to take Toronto in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Toronto, but I don't believe in either one of these two teams to make any noise past this game. But that would be the East. I'm going to take the Heat in the 1st game, the Raptors in the 2nd game, and I'm going to take the Raptors over the Hawks.
Yeah, I agree. I have the same line. Yep.
We're agreeing. That's not good for everybody.
I know. We need a little dissension here.
Was that word of the day, toilet paper, working out for you?
It might be.
Okay. All right. T-Wolves at the Lakers. Let me guess who you're going to pick.
All right. I made this pick even before the T-Wolves. Don't do that to me. Don't even give me that look. Even before I knew Rudy Gobert get injured and ejected, and Jaden McDaniels, who we forgot to mention that Jaden McDaniels punched the wall after a loose ball foul, ended up fracturing his hand. I have no idea what's going to make you punch a wall, and keep in mind the wall is always going to win that fight. So I don't.
I fought the wall, and the wall won.
What won?
I fought the.
No. No. We're not doing that. No.
No? Okay.
Even with that said, last time I checked the line, I think it's the Lakers by 7.5. I don't think the Lakers are going to win by 7.5, but I do.
No. They're like it was mentioned earlier. T-Wolves are better without him anyway. Without Rudy.
Without Rudy, yeah. The line is the Lakers by 8, but I still have the Lakers winning.
Yeah. I also picked the Lakers in that game. And then our Air Raid podcast friend.
Oh,
guess who he's picking in the 2nd game? The Thunder at the Pels.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna take the Pelicans even after putting that up.
I already picked the Pelicans.
And Mike, of course, says Lakers by 12.
Lakers by 12. I trust me. I hope it's the Lakers by 12. I don't see that happening tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a little closer than we expect. But hey, if the Lakers are up by 12, I'm all for it.
Yep. So, and thank you again, Air Raid.
He's
saying that even though we're picking the Pelicans, and of course we've already heard that Zion is not coming back for this game. Period.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you and I discussed the whole Zion situation there like a couple of days ago. I don't know what the Pelicans front office is currently like thinking about that whole situation. Kind of like he's got the quad issue, and going forward in his career, how many more games is he going to miss? I even mentioned, I think after looking at numbers, I think he's only played like 32% of his entire games over. Well, it's supposed to be 4 years, but remember he missed his whole rookie campaign when he got hurt. So I don't know. I don't know how you kind of aid that. How do you help him out? Does he need to lose a few pounds? Is that if he does lose some weight, is that going to affect his game at all? I still think he's going to have the strength and the size to do what he does, but I don't know. They invested a lot of money and basically wanted to, he's the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
But
he's the face of the franchise, but he's like wearing a mask all the time and nobody ever gets to see him.
Right.
So having said all that, are you picking the Thunder?
Sorry, Mike, but I'm picking the Pelicans. Yeah.
Mike says, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's all good." So
it's all good. Yeah, we're just being honest here. I got the Pelicans winning. The Pelicans got a nice little team. I like the way Herb Jones. Shout out to Herb Jones, repping Alabama really, really well. Excellent defensive player. They got McCollum. They got Brandon Ingram too. So they got some shooters on their team. Of course, if they had Zion out there as well, I think they wouldn't even be in the playing game. They would have won several more games this season.
Because everybody would get to slide into their natural roles.
Yep.
Their number 2, number 3 scorer, Herb Jones. Yep. So
now that we got
the Pelicans in that one, yeah.
Yep. Now that we have the play-in kind of squared away, I'm looking at.
You taking the Pelicans over the T-Wolves?
I'm taking the Pelicans.
Okay. I mean, you didn't say that. We said the T-Wolves are going to lose that game, and then the Pelicans got to win that game. You're going to take it.
You're right. I didn't clarify that, but I picked the Pelicans in the first game, and I have them beating the Minnesota Timberwolves.
It's interesting that you're wearing a Jesse James shirt because he was quite the shooter.
It doesn't count unless it's in our comments. You can say it as many times. That doesn't count.
My bad. I like that one, though. All right, so now we're getting into the real tournament, right?
Hold on. I have one question before the real tournament.
Okay.
So if the Timberwolves lose both games and don't make the playoffs, is it safe? Is it okay to blame it on Rudy Gobert?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first you blame it on the front office for going and getting him in a trade.
Right.
Then you blame it on Rudy just for not being good. Did the Thunder tank backfire? Are we finally seeing this young team gel? I don't think it backfired. I don't know if I would even call things a tank, I guess. I think they have a true alpha dog in SGA out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're realizing this guy can put up 30. And they've got a couple good pieces around him. And I think because Gonzaga guy got hurt, you really didn't see Chet got hurt at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
You didn't really see the full potential of this team. But I do think that they've got some good pieces. They still have plenty of draft capital out there to make a move. So I don't think anything has backfired for them so far. I think they've made some good moves to pivot from, the Russell Westbrook era. And I think they're heading in the right direction.
I agree 1,000%. I think for them to be even mentioned in the game is really, really good for them. And I think next year they'll probably be able to
win. Have you seen the last two comments?
I read it.
But how did you get 2 back-to-back with 2 people who don't even know each
other? Oh my goodness. That's
so like Mike comes up with that, right? Oh. Maybe it's an Etta James jersey because at last the Lakers will win another championship. And right behind it is Bo with sweet Etta James jersey. Where'd you find that? These people are on you.
Ha ha ha. Oh my goodness. Thanks for the comments, I guess.
What are the chances of both of them popping up at the same time, though?
Oh, I don't know. Great mind, like.
Oh. All right. You want to start out?
Let's get into the nitty gritty here.
Okay. The Nuggets over whoever comes out of the 8 seed, which we are picking.
Pelicans.
What you got? The Pelicans, right?
Do you not have the Pelicans? You picked Minnesota beating.
Yeah, no, I think I'll go with the Pels.
Okay.
Pels. But I'm taking Denver to win that series. Just too good. And like you said, New Orleans without Zion, I don't feel like they're good enough to win that one yet. So great team, great pieces, but they need an alpha dog. So
I have Denver winning that 4-1. I think the Pelicans might be able to squeeze one game out of that series, but Denver's too deep. Obviously, they have the MVP candidate in Jokic over there, and Denver's got some shooters on that team. I keep forgetting KCP's on that team. I completely forgot
that.
And
sometimes Porter Jr. will go out and hit nothing but threes. So
yes, I'm glad you brought that up. That's another thing. Denver's run in this playoff is going to be heavily dependent on everybody staying healthy. MPJ and Jamal Murray, of course. If they can stay healthy and Jokic, they can make a run in the playoffs.
Yep. An interesting matchup. The 4-5, the Suns and Clippers. What is PG's on air raid said that of course the Denver guy says the Nuggets sweep whoever they play, including LeBron James, if he somehow gets into that.
Well, I said 4-1. I didn't think they were going to sweep, but what do you think is going to
say what?
What do you think for Denver and New Orleans? I have it 4-1 Denver. What do you have as far as the series?
I can see them maybe squeaking out one, but it wouldn't surprise me. They crush them both first games at home, and the Pelicans are like, all right, let's just head back to the house. So
I gotcha.
I think that game 3, I could see them winning with a little momentum and excitement, but I could see it going downhill quickly after that.
I gotcha. But going back to this 4-5 matchup,
and then Mike says if they get by the play-in tournament, he's going to wear his Broncos gear to the Denver series. Hey,
oh my goodness,
with the Russell Wilson jersey on, that's what I want to see.
Oh my goodness.
The Suns and the Clippers. Is PG going to be here for this series?
I don't think so. I talked to Bob prior to the show during our prior show meeting. And Bob said he hasn't heard anything, but it's not looking good for the Clippers. And one thing I want to remind everybody is prior to the season, I had the Clippers winning the championship. Midway through the season, I had the Clippers winning the championship. Then they made the trade for Westbrook. I still said, okay, I think the Clippers can do it. But with them not having Paul George, I just don't think they're going to have enough firepower to keep up with Phoenix and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. It's just going to be really, really difficult. The Clippers are still going to have a deeper bench, but as far as just 3-point assassins, I mean, it's going to be hard to keep up with Phoenix. And Phoenix has their own court. So with that being said, I have Phoenix winning 4-2.
Yep, I would agree with that. Yeah. And the number 2, I like the 4-2. Without Paul George, I might pick the Clippers, but without knowing his health and his status, I just don't see how you see them getting by. Really, the only team the Clippers are good at beating without Paul George is the Lakers. All right, so the number 3 versus the number 6.
I am not going to tolerate this disrespect.
I'm just saying, Norman Powell is unstoppable.
Just because your name is first doesn't mean I have to tolerate this.
I just spit facts here. One of the most interesting little series to me, the Kings as the number 3 seed, playing the Warriors, who just dropped, 54 points in the first quarter on
I think it was 55 because they had a good 12 threes in the first half or something. It's just really, really scary. I mean, you could call it interesting, but I've got Golden State in 5, to be honest with you.
I'm going to say the Kings take a couple because the Warriors have been terrible on the road. But if the Warriors can get Andrew Wiggins back here and get him in the mix, this is a terrible I feel bad for them not having made the playoffs in 50 years. And
I know, and then they get
the
blasted
Warriors in the first round.
But see, that's why I'm also counting on Golden State to win it in 5. I do think Andrew Wiggins will be back for the playoffs. Of course, I don't know this for sure. Bob doesn't know this for sure, but I think Andrew Wiggins will be back, and I think the Golden State has the experience on their side. With that experience and win that championship pedigree, they're going to be able to get some calls from the refs. They're going to look at the refs like, hey, Steph Curry, I'm Draymond, come on. So they're going to get some calls there. It would be good for Sacramento for them to win a game, but I just don't see them win the series. Golden State's momentum is trending in the right direction the past few weeks. I got Golden State in 5.
I'm going to have them in 6. I'll probably be rooting for the Kings in this series just because it's been so long.
Oh,
I feel bad for them.
I would love for Sacramento to win this series. I am anti-Golden State simply because I don't want Steph to get more rings than LeBron. So
right, which he has a better chance of getting one before LeBron ever gets another one, but that's a whole nother story.
See, right before I made that comment, I knew her was going to counter with something as petty as that. So
petty.
Me? That was so petty. Anyway,
right,
the last match.
Oh, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
Memphis Grizzlies against probably what the Pelicans were thinking here, or the Timberwolves. Yeah.
Herb.
So what do you think about this series? No Steven Adams for the Grizzlies.
Okay, who are the Grizzlies playing? Let's get back to the top.
Don't
do your fans a disservice by continuing to lie.
The not Clippers. And so Mike is also Air Raid podcast is also
4-2 Golden State. Yeah, I can see that happening too. But yeah,
that's my pick for that one. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
So the Grizzlies without Steven Adams against the non-Clippers. I'm taking the Grizzlies in 7.
Okay, before I tell you my prediction, what do you think my prediction is?
The Lakers in 7. Anti-Herb alert and upset alert.
I'm going with King James and Lakers in 6.
6, so they can close it out at home.
Yes, because Yep. I got the Lakers in 6. It's going to be extremely tough. I think the loss of Steven Adams is going to obviously it's not going to. I don't know. I don't know how much of a damage that's going to be.
Wow,
for Memphis.
imagine that. Another Lakers fan agrees with you.
Well, that's a smart Lakers fan. Shout out to Big Mike. Yes, Lakers in 6. One thing that does scare me about
this is what I have to deal with, Raj. King James.
Oh, Lakers in 7. King James. Shout out to Ricky. What's going on, Ricky? Hope all is well.
No, don't.
No. Ricky says in 5. King James. Oh, I love the show now. Yes, things are getting spicy.
Lakers in 7. Oh,
Herbert's getting so upset right now, and I love it.
The show has gone off the rails. Like it's done. You know what? Let me just crinkle up my brackets and
I got the Lakers in 6.
Going home.
Now, we'll give the Lakers some credit. Not John Morant, but they do have Jaren Jackson Jr., who's a phenomenal defensive player. I think he led the league in blocks this year and last year. That I honestly didn't know that before we started the show.
Probably leads to disqualifications as well. But
that too. It will be funny to see if Dylan Brooks gets ejected from a game, but I don't know what that's going to happen. But I got the Lakers in 6.
Okay, so let's go to the second round.
That's it?
I feel like I'm outnumbered and being like, there's way too many people over here rooting for the Lakers. Like this.
Let's outnumber her in the comments.
This is terrible. All
right, so let's go to the second round.
Denver and the Suns.
Yep.
No defense will be played in this entire series.
Absolutely not.
I mean, do you want to take the Suns with the KD factor?
I'm taking Phoenix in 6.
It just seems like that's what's going to happen. Jokic is not going to get MVP this year. He's going to be so despondent. He won't be able to carry this team. Jamal Murray gets hurt in the second game. The Suns win.
Don't say Jamal Murray's going to get hurt. We don't want him to get hurt, but there's a possibility that he might. So, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the Denver fan here has to come in. Denver in 6. Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
Health is going to decide this. I think the first person to blink and twist an ankle is loses it for his whole team. I'm going to take the Suns, but I will. This will probably be one of the more enjoyable series.
Yeah.
So in the bottom of the bracket.
Yeah. Who's in the bottom of the bracket, Herb?
The Warriors, clearly.
And
Mike's going pretty far. He said the Suns are going to sweep. So.
Oh, wow. Sweep. The Suns sweep the Nuggets? I don't know about that, but hey, we will see what happens.
All right. Golden State versus whatever person comes out of the bottom of the bracket.
I say the Lakers, Herb. Okay, so did you say your winner for who do you think, Memphis and the Lakers?
Yeah, I said Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis in 7, remember?
Whatever.
And if you don't think I'm taking Golden State and Steph Curry to hit, Suns in 6.
Yeah.
They don't have a bench. Yeah. See, I can see that.
Right. Suns
that's for the other series. That's not for your. Look, trust me, all these people over here are going to take the Lakers over Golden State.
Yeah.
That what you're picking?
You mean in the comments or just what in general?
No, I mean the people in the comments are going to take the Lakers. I'm taking Golden State to beat the Lakers. Steph Curry will average 30 in that series, and it hit the game clinching bucket in Game 6 right over LeBron James.
I'm going to say this in my heart.
And the Lakers crowd will be saying, "We want Steph. We want Steph. We want Steph."
I really want the Lakers to win this series. I really want that to happen. I think they have a small chance to do it. Is it going to happen? No. Unfortunately, I think Golden State's going to have way too much firepower for the Lakers in this series, and I have Golden State in 7.
You got Warriors in 7. Mike is staying true. He's a much better fan than you. He's staying Lakers in 7. Mike from Air Raid is saying Warriors in 7.
I'm gonna have a conversation with Mike after this, so he can boost up my confidence a little bit. So,
well, there's two Mikes here, so both of them they're on either side. So,
yeah, I think in order for the Lakers to win this series, Golden State's just gonna have a few games where they shoot the ball horribly, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. With the way they've been playing lately, especially yesterday.
Thank you. See, an honest Lakers fan.
Yeah, he was real honest when he said King James, though. That's
you can't live off of that one comment for the rest of the show.
I can live off that one comment for as long as I want to. Shout out to Ricky and King James. We won't read what you just said. We don't need to see all that. And Herb doesn't need to double click on it again. But all right. So with the scenario that we have now, we have Phoenix playing Golden State. Wow. KD coming back to play his former team that he probably should have stayed with and probably would have won a few more rings, but he decided to leave and go to Brooklyn and create that dumpster fire that happened there.
Wow.
What do you think is going to happen in this, and what are your predictions, Herb?
I'm taking Golden State if that happens to be. I think, especially if Clay's rounding into form, if they get back Andrew Wiggins, and I'm kind of assuming they have Andrew Wiggins just to get this far.
Yeah.
And the Suns gave away a lot of their depth when they made the trade for KD.
Yep.
And I just feel like Chris Paul doesn't perform great in these kind of moments. I feel like one of those three is going to get banged up. You have no idea what you're going to get from Ayton game to game. I would take Golden State if this was a situation. If you asked me before when I was looking at this bracket, because I literally just filled it out as we went.
Yeah.
There's no way. I just don't think Golden State's coming out of the West. But now that I'm filling it out, I'm like, I could see it. It's funny me to pick the Suns.
It's funny that you said that because I was filling this out earlier today, and I was like, I don't know if Golden State's going to make it out. But then as I kept on picking them to win each series, I was like, oh wow,
yeah,
this is pretty interesting. So with that being said, I think Golden State's firepower, along with, and you said if Andrew Wiggins is back, I'm pretty sure he'll be back by that series, if not the first series. I've got Golden State and Phoenix going into a classic thriller. 7 games, but I have Golden State winning that and winning the West.
And you think the Warriors versus Denver at 6 and Phoenix in 5? Like I could do it.
Okay.
And also don't underestimate Gary Payton.
I forgot about that.
3rd, the 5th, him coming back. So
he's coming back. Yeah, that was smart by them. Bring up their defense before the playoffs. Series,
but will KD do what he always does to disappear in the second round?
I don't know. Oh, I forgot to
I can see it though, and I just think a lot of things have to go right for the Suns, and KD not having a great series, or Booker being banged up, or no Chris Paul, something happens there, they don't win that series. Go ahead though.
Yeah,
and Mike's also chiming in. He's got the West in 6 for the Suns.
I would prefer for Phoenix to win the West, and like I mentioned, I don't want Steph and that clan to get another ring, but based on what we've said on paper here, I've got Golden State coming out of the West.
Yeah, which is weird. I never would have said that when we started. So
I didn't either.
All right, let's get over to the East. We're running on our time there.
Oh wow! Come on.
Honestly, let me go and say this too. Thank you to everybody for the comments. Like this is
we appreciate
the most comments we ever had in the show, and we really do appreciate it. And like I said,
we appreciate all y'all
that everybody says, and I don't care if it takes time because we love it. So
and please continue to spread the word about the show and let them know we're here every Monday 7. Go ahead, Herb.
Yeah. All right, the Bucks versus who do we coming out of the 8 seed?
We have Miami, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I don't think it's either. I'm taking the Bucks.
I picked the Bucks sweeping in the first round.
Yeah, Bucks sweep, and that's good.
Yeah.
If I kind of knew how, what's his name for the Knicks that just got hurt?
Not Julius Randle, but
Randle. Yeah,
is it Randle? Okay.
Yeah, he didn't play the end of the season. Someone, Mike said, I'm not gonna post that one, Mike, but Mike said he just had a good comment. Yeah, we do appreciate it, Mike. But also, Mike, one of our originals, so we're never gonna not want him out here. I'm going to take the Cavs over the Knicks, not knowing Randall's status.
Yep.
I don't think either one of these two teams is true contenders yet anyway. So, but I think the Cavs is a great step. And Air Raid Mike is taking Bucks in 5. I could see them dropping one game because they do get a little in a time. But I think the Bucks, crush the first series.
Yeah. There might be one game where Milwaukee gets a little lethargic and says, okay, we didn't play well. Let's just go ahead and wrap this one up. Let them have it and then win the next 2 or whatever. But I think we can all agree that Milwaukee's going to win that first series. As far as Cleveland, New York, I've got Cleveland in 6, and this was without me even about the Julius Randle injury.
Yeah.
I was considering that.
Bucks in 5.
Yeah.
And Air Raid Mike is going Knicks in 6. I think the Knicks are the deeper team, but I don't know if I trust Thibodeau in the playoffs, and I don't know Randall's status coming into this game. So that's my biggest thing. That's true. The Cavs. Who are you taking?
So right now,
sorry.
I got Cleveland in 6.
Cleveland is okay.
I think New York's going to be able to get a few out of that series, but they're not going to win the whole thing.
Yep. I think the bottom half of the bracket is I don't know, I want to say easy, but the 76ers and the Celtics, I feel like those have to be your choices. The Nets are probably just happy to be here at this point. And Boston versus the Heat could be interesting because Heat does play tough, but I think Boston's overall the better team.
Wait, Boston versus the Heat?
Yeah, the Heat end up with the 7 series.
I have them switched around. Okay.
We had the Heat winning the first game against the Hawks. That would put them at the 7 seed.
Oh, you know what? I had Milwaukee. Oh, my bad. I have. You're right. You're right. I still have Milwaukee winning, but yeah, Boston against the Heat. I think that would have been interesting a couple years ago. But I have Boston winning in a sweep too. To be honest with you.
Yeah. So Bucks and Cavs. I'm taking the Bucks still. I think the Cavs are probably still a player or two away.
But I've said this many times. I said if Cleveland can keep that team together, they're going to make a deep run in these next few years.
Right.
Possibly make it to the finals.
Is this Cleveland at 7 over the Bucks or Cleveland at 7 over the Knicks? Though that's what I'm.
He probably means Cleveland at 7 over the. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm gonna say it's over the Knicks because well, you don't see me wearing a Bucks jersey or Bucks shirt and then say the Bucks aren't gonna beat the Cavs. So.
And Air Raid thinks that the Bucks are going to sweep, bring out the brooms.
I think they're getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't think it's going to be all that difficult, to be honest. Yeah, Ricky did clarify. He meant over the Knicks. Yeah, I'm with you with Cleveland over the Knicks, and I do think Spider. If it goes 7, I'm thinking he's hitting 40 points 3 times. Ricky, so, but I agree with you. He would have to have at least 2 for sure. And then, like I say, Air Raid is picking the Bucks over the Cavs in the sweep. So that brings you to the interesting series. And I assume you're picking the Bucks over the Cavs. Yeah. 76ers. Yeah. So is Philadelphia ready? Will James Harden actually play in this series? And how will Doc Rivers mess things up?
Oh, my God. Because it always seems to happen to him, even going back to his Clipper days, go downhill. I've been picking Boston all year. You know that. I've mentioned it several times. I think they're going to make it to the finals and we're going to win the East. That said, I still have Boston winning this series in 7. I do think it's going to be one of the more interesting series throughout the entire playoffs. But Tatum and Brown are going to be a tough tandem to kind of dethrone. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a crying meme from Joel Embiid, but they're not going to make it past the second round this year. And then after that, with that being said, what does Philadelphia do to improve next year?
Harden it seems like he's got one foot out the door.
You think so?
Tobias Harris is probably. It seems like there's always. It just seems like he's got one eye looking elsewhere. So I agree with that. Boston in 6. I would agree with that. I mean, the 76ers had to get 50 points from Joel Embiid and no Jaylen Brown just to win this last game against them. So I'm taking Boston for sure in that game, in that series. 76, Raj, we'll cover that in another time. Where do they go from here if they do drop out? But they got a lot of questions. You've got an obvious piece to build around in Joel Embiid, but are the pieces they're putting in there really enough? Is Harden really his second best guy? Should they maybe pivot to Maxey and go there? So let's see. That's the first time Ricky has ever admitted to me that he didn't know something, Raj.
Yeah, but Ricky did mention earlier King James, so Ricky's good.
You can't keep going back to his original comment.
I have a mouse I can do what I want.
So we have Bucks in Boston, which we both said how the East would be decided at the beginning of the year. Right. I'm obviously taking the Bucks. I can't argue with anybody that picks Boston because they are a tough team, which I think you're about to take Boston.
I'm taking Boston in 7.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks in 7. I think if Middleton is actually healthy, they've got a chance. I think they've got a deep team. They've made some good pickups, even with Joe Ingles and Crowder. I
thought Middleton was back. Is he not back?
Who?
Middleton.
He got banged up in there. The game where they're in Bucks in 7, I like that pick. He got banged up again in the game where they clinched the division. I think Giannis was already not playing, and then he played like the first quarter, got hurt, and didn't play the rest of it. They just ended up winning the game. So as long as he can stay healthy for this whole thing, I'm taking the Bucks.
I got the Boston Celtics. So you have Milwaukee playing Golden State.
Warriors. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have a rematch of last year.
Playing Boston. The rematch of last year.
Not happen.
All right. So, I'm thinking now. I'm going to say this is Boston's year. Boston's going to win the NBA championship this year. I got Boston in 7.
I'm picking the Bucks in 7.
Okay.
Best record, home court advantage. I have no idea what you're getting from the Warriors at times, which goes against everything I've said. But obviously, I'm just rooting for them too. So, take everything I say with a grain of salt.
Same here. I'll admit that. Except for the fact that Ricky mentioned James. So, with that being said, I think that kind of wraps up the playoff bracket. We both can agree that
so you got Bucks and 6 versus Warriors.
I think I overdid it. And
this is a 2-parter. Come on, Raj. Anybody but Boston.
No, I understand. I mean, of course, I would love for the Lakers to win the whole chip, but just being honest, I don't think we're going to do it this year. Maybe another year. But I've been picking Boston. Even Herman, I've been picking Boston pretty much all year. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. And go back to this one. Back to the air raids. Bucks at 6. I'm interested in, is he picking this because of our bracket or what his actual bracket's going to look like? So, but I could see the Bucks winning the whole thing. So.
Okay. Oh, come on, Bo. That's not funny. Oh, thank you for loving the jersey. And yes, it's on backwards. I had to have his name at the forefront.
Yeah. The Lakers fan picking Boston.
Ricky says the Lakers at 5 for the championship.
Ricky said Lakers at 5 for the championship.
5? Wow. And I will say this. If I have Jordan, when it comes to the GOAT debate, I still have Jordan, and Herb as a witness. I still have Jordan as number 1. I said, if LeBron can give me one more ring, he's my new GOAT. I need one more.
Okay. LeBron. So air raid says going off of his bracket and our bracket, he's got Milwaukee. So
okay,
respect.
Cool.
Sorry. So yeah,
it's all right.
So if LeBron wins one more and gets his finals record to 500, he's the GOAT or something like that.
I don't care about that because
just making sure. I'm just making sure I clarify.
Let's be honest. If LeBron was actually win 2 more and win and be 6 rings, all those losses wouldn't even matter.
Ricky has really, so losses don't matter anymore.
Nope, wouldn't matter.
Ricky has gained a fan tonight. So, all right, we got about 12 minutes left, huh?
Yeah, I got a quick question before we jump into something else.
Okay.
Odell Beckham.
That was going to be the next subject, fool.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know.
We got about 12 minutes. We got a few minutes to throw out something before we get into the 3 questions of death. So that was going to be the biggest thing.
Go ahead. What do you think?
And honestly, Ricky and I actually talked about this. So his first question was, Raj, I'll present this to you. How you going to give Odell money and not give Lamar it to
money? Yeah. So Odell signed a 1-year deal for I think 15 million guaranteed, but with incentives
up to 18 million with incentives. Yeah,
I think that's too much for 1 year. I don't think Odell's the same Odell as he was back in New York. I think he's a pretty good number 2 as he was with the Rams because Cooper Kupp was doing most of the damage. But as far as 15 million with the possibility of getting 18, I think that's too much money.
I'm gonna show Mike's comment in a minute after we finish the subject. So yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially for a guy that is more suited as number 2. But I can and at the last minute he called the Jets and was like, "Hey, y'all want a match?" And they were like, "No, we good, fam."
No, we're good. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's interesting to me though that Lamar was recruiting Odell.
Yeah.
So it's is this what the Ravens think is the next piece to put them over and to mend all the relationship? I don't know, but it's weird to not give Lamar his money, and now we're signing a high-profile wide receiver who didn't even play last year, so you're not even sure what he has left in the tank.
And are they saying that Odell's going to be the number 1 go-to guy? And I'm not talking about Mark Andrews, but because Mark Andrews,
you got Bateman from Minnesota.
Okay,
it's supposed to be if he comes back healthy. So I don't know. I still think the wide receiver help. I think they still might draft one, even though the draft for wide receivers isn't as big.
I would.
But at the position that they're drafting at, because there's a run earlier on defenders and quarterbacks, I think that they can get a good wide receiver at that spot.
I agree.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. So, Mike, I told you I'm going to pick a Major League Baseball team. I've actually picked two. One from the American League, one from the National League.
Okay.
But I might make everyone wait a week because my T-shirts have to come in.
What a surprise. More T's.
Yes. I like the suspense, man. But I will have a T-shirt for each team that I picked. Okay?
Okay, cool.
I think that was the biggest thing, the biggest stuff out there, Raj.
Other than NBA, yeah.
One quick NBA note. Did you read today where Bradley Beal is upset at the way things are going in Washington?
He's just now up.
That's what I didn't get. I was like, dude, y'all been bad for a while, and you signed it.
Yeah, like what?
Like it's a little. I mentioned him because he's one of the most coveted names out there as far as a piece you can go get. Why did you re-sign there, man? Like they've been bad for a while.
That's what I wanted to know. It's the same thing with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard made the comment that he's not interested in players that need 3 years to develop. Why did you re-sign with the max? Yeah. What did you think was going to happen
with Portland? But yeah, for what, $50 million a year? Yeah, I don't know. Dame needed to get out of Portland, and nobody would have blamed him at that point. So
yeah, exactly. But
and then the last little bit of NFL news out there, even if I'm hopping around, DeAndre Hopkins, possible trade, possible just cut and let go. If you can imagine that. Yep. And a lot of teams are approaching the Cardinals about getting their number 3 draft pick in the draft this year. I can't post that one, Ricky, because he put a little
no, Ricky just said left. No sympathy for Bill. Yeah. we agreed to what your statement was tending to say, Ricky. So yes.
Ricky basically said there's no sympathy for Bill. I 100% agree.
Right.
We all agree. When the team was making no progress before or after. And also, let's be honest, Bradley Beal is not a guy that I consider I'm going to win a championship with him as my best team player. So
Right.
So he said with Washington, of course he's upset with winning. Now his paychecks look nice. Yeah. So. T-shirt alert. I'm just waiting on my next T-shirt to get here. That definitely will be a T-shirt coming up.
Yep.
All right, Rod, you ready for the 3 questions of death? I actually tried out 2 of these, so Ricky actually has an answer himself for you. So he might post that, or he might tell you when it's done. So the first question. All right, our podcast. Obviously we follow the University of Alabama. Roll Tide.
Okay? Roll Tide.
If we had to take our podcast out of the SEC, could not follow a Power 5 conference, and you had to pick one of the group of 5 conferences to go into to physically move to that location, and that's where you'd be. Would you go into Conference USA, the American, the MAC, the Mountain West, or the Sun Belt? Follow one of those for every sport, have to learn all those names. Why are you stressed already? The question just started.
Painful. Like, no names from those schools really stand out to me. Like, you got Houston in the AAC. That would be good for basketball, maybe, but the football.
Aren't they about to leave though? Houston's about to leave.
It seems like everybody's about to leave nowadays.
Yeah. So the American is about to lose BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF.
Who's that? Who else? Who is in the Sun Belt right now? Like in the Sun Belt.
Arkansas State, Appalachian State, Louisiana.
Never mind. This is a painful. You know what? I'm just going to go with the American Athletic Conference. I don't have a very solid answer for that question. Why would I want to go?
Let me tell you, Rick. Here's Ricky's wimpy answer that he came up with earlier.
The Blazers,
just so he could stay at home and be in the South.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have a more entertaining answer to that question. That was just kind of like I just got punched in the stomach, and I just had to come up with that one. So, but that's the whole premise.
So this question was the first time I ever prefaced a question and gave you a chance to do some legwork.
Yes.
Okay. You get to be the GM of a team, NFL or NBA, or you can pick one from both if you had 2 different answers here.
Right.
you are getting paid $2 million a year. You have to produce 2 championships.
You said $2 million?
Yes.
Okay.
In the next 8 years, you have to produce 2 championships. If you pick an NBA team, it's after this year, so you don't get to cherry pick off this year's, right? NFL team would start next year, right? You win a championship, you keep your money. If you don't win 2 championships in the next 8 years, you lose everything that you've earned from the team.
Okay.
And bonus, if you pick a team not in the top 5 in either sport, you double your money.
Okay.
So who are you picking?
NBA. NBA, I'm probably going to have to stick with, I'm probably going to ride with Golden State.
Really?
I feel like over the next few years, Draymond might not be there anymore, but they'll still have a good core. I think they'll still have Stephen Clay, and they'll be able to surround him with a good core group, good young guys. Kuminga's going to be there. I think Andrew Wiggins still might be there. So I still think they'll have what it takes to win a few more championships. Get those championships I need for more money, because I don't care about them winning the championships. I just care about my money at this point.
Okay.
NFL, I'm glad you made a statement, because at the NFL, I was going to pick – who do you think I was going to pick in the NFL?
Miami.
I was going to pick Miami, but
of course,
you said I can't wait. Can I start with next season, or can I not start with the next season? I can.
You start with the next season, yeah.
I'm asking you that because Tyreek Hill came out earlier this week and made a comment that 2025 is going to be his last season, and he's going to do some other stuff outside of football.
You got some good answers going on over here. You got to hurry up.
Oh, my bad. So with that being said, I'm going to pick Miami. We have to win this upcoming season and next season, and then Tyreek.
Wow, you're putting your whole 8-year history into 2 years, and wow.
Yes, wow. I can do that. So let's go to the comments.
Let's recap. Mike going back, he said, why'd you jump with the Mountain West? We're going to get back to air raids because I like that idea. We're going to end on his comment, okay? This was Ricky's answer when he took this earlier. I like the Eagles comment because I think they are set up for success right now. And Orlando could be sneaky good. Orlando, you're going for wait about 3 years, and maybe that core has grown, and then some of these other teams phased out. And then this might be the answer of the more Sunbelt, the James
Madison. That's where I went to school at.
You're already wearing their uniform. You're already wearing their jersey, so you might as well like that one.
Oh, I get it. I see you there.
Yeah. Now, you didn't get it at first. That's why I said it's a great answer.
I didn't get it at first, but now I don't even think P was trying to do that. He was just simply mentioned James Madison University.
No, definitely not. He was on that one. That's why he picked James. That was an excellent answer. Give him double points for that one. Okay. All right. So this one's going to be a painful one, Raj. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
You have 4 options of things that you have to do. We have to pick one of these things to do. They're going to be all sorry. Okay.
All right.
Number 1. Watch Auburn win a national championship in football with you standing on the sideline. Okay. Number 2, the Lakers and the Celtics are in the finals. LeBron James twists his ankle in the first quarter. He's out for the rest of the series, and the Celtics sweep. Okay. Which are at every game. Okay. The Dolphins meet the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Tua twists his ankle in the first quarter. He's out for the rest of the game. The Cowboys win 30-0 with you on the sideline.
Okay.
Or you have to go to a baseball game where it's raining and the 2 worst teams in the league are playing, and you have to sit next to Jabba the Hutt and feed him the entire time.
So what is the question? Which one would I?
You have to pick one of those that you would be forced to do.
I'll pick the Super Bowl, because if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, my wife is happy, her family's happy, and that's my second favorite team, so I can live with that. I can't live with the other 3. I can't live with the other 3.
Well, he said he don't want to be here anymore.
How is Jabba Hutt getting to the baseball game? How is he even getting in there?
That's all. You got to do it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I mentioned this one right here. This is from Air Raid Mike. By the way, excellent podcast to listen to. First podcast to have us on as guests. And really was kind of influential in helping us get our start. So we definitely appreciate him always.
Yes.
Well, he plays Batman, Norman, or Tuscaloosa. He's got the equipment to do a live in person on site. Of course we are. You don't even.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We're in.
Of
we
course.
Are in. So, always down for that. And then your last comment, Ricky agreed with you. He said he'd go with that one too as well.
Yeah, I'll go with the Super Bowl. That was a good question, but I can go with the Super Bowl one. I can survive that. Wife's happy. I'm semi-happy. Those other 3 The Auburn standing on the side. No, I could not. That would be so painful.
Yeah, I threw that one out thinking if he ever agreed to this one, that'd be
No, couldn't do that.
I don't want to be on the sideline when Auburn plays Vanderbilt and wins, much less national championship. So, Mike from the Aerator Tech Pod says, "Let's go." Definitely, man.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. Well, that is the show. Thank you, everybody. We definitely appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate all the comments.
We appreciate all the support.
I think we tried to post everything except for one comment that was a little edited. But we appreciate everybody. So until next week, we'll be talking about how the Lakers got eliminated, and we'll talk about the rest of the playoffs and go on from there.
Or we'll be talking about how Herb likes to tell fibs.
So. Well, that's what. Well, Ricky always tells me a lie. I don't care who tell it. So
shout out to Ricky for the King James comment. Ricky, go Ricky.
For Herbert Raj podcast, everyone, you guys have a great night, and as always,
roll Tide.